The first thing we consider is what types of lights. Say a space like this, we want to wall wash the external gallery walls. So this is what we would call an external gallery wall. What we call wall washers are these lights just above us. So the wall washers basically, we evenly space them from each other at about 1.5 metres. And what that means is that the wall that we're aiming at gets a complete wall wash. So it means that you don't see any shadow between the artworks. It's just a complete stream of light, so it looks quite smooth if you get it right. The second type of lighting that we've used are beam shapers, which are these ones just up in the ceiling here. So beam shapers just give us a little bit more to play with. So we actually use them on the walls that are inside the space, so like the mobile walls with the artworks hanging on those, but also for sculptural pieces. What it means is that we can actually shape the light. We can actually make the light coming right in onto the artwork, so we can actually shape it so much so that you can have a sharp edge or you can actually have quite a soft edge. So they're quite versatile in that respect. And it also means that we might use a couple of those to light one particular artwork. So for example, this sculptural piece here, because it's quite long, we're actually coming at it from two directions to give it its full light. So we're coming at it from one end and then the other, so that the light will actually meet at one point and light the piece completely. There's a third light that we've used, and that's just a spot, but it's actually got a filter on the front of it. That means that we can actually direct the light either horizontally or vertically, and in this instance we've actually got it running down the didactic, so it lights up the didactic, but at the same time it doesn't run into the film that we're playing. So you can see that the light cuts off before we run into the projection. Lighting directions, that can be really important, particularly for sculptural pieces. It's often quite good to be able to light directly from above, but obviously that isn't always possible. In consideration of light levels, the first thing we think about is the material that the work is made out of. So for example, acrylic on canvas can handle a lot more light intensity than say a paper-based work like a watercolour. So a watercolour on paper is actually more vulnerable to deteriorating over time from being exposed to a lot of light. The way that we control light levels is we actually use a computer system which taps into our lighting tracking system. We put the lights on different tracks and then we change the light levels accordingly. So for example, the wall washers will be on one track and we can actually dim those or boost them up depending on the works that are on that track. And then for the beam shapers we may have them on track 2, which means that we could dim them differently to the wall washers. So it means that you can get balanced light throughout the space. So you can take into consideration not just the natural light that's coming into the gallery, but also the material of the work. So it's a little bit of fiddling around, but once you get the balance, it makes the gallery look really good, and it also means that the artworks are taken care of in terms of their lighting requirements. So, and once that process is finished, the galleries are ready to go. This is quite different to our other gallery spaces. One of the main reasons is that it's got a lot of natural light coming through. So you can see throughout the space we've actually got both sides, we've got large windows coming straight into the space. You're battling with natural light, which you can use to your advantage. So throughout the day, obviously natural light into the gallery is quite a nice thing, but it also changes your light levels because it's adding to the lighting impact on artworks. The colour of your walls is going to change your light levels again. So there's lots of different things to contend with. Yeah, it very much depends on the type of space that you're using, but the studio is quite unique in that it has a lot of natural light, which I think visitors actually quite like. But yeah, it's just another thing to consider.